Today is the feast of the presentation of the Lord. It's also known as Candlemas. What we celebrate is, Jesus as a little baby being brought into the temple. And Simeon sees him, and he recognizes in him the Messiah that they've been waiting for so long. And he bursts out into this beautiful canticle, this hymn of praise. It's known as the Canticle of Simeon, and as priests we pray it every night with our night prayer. And in it, he says about Jesus, he says that he will be a light to reveal God to the nations. And we know, especially from John's Gospel, that Jesus is the light of the world. We hear that he shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome and will never overcome this light. If you think about that light of Christ today on the presentation, I also think of an image for the church that I heard from Father John Riccardo. He was talking about, how we as followers of Christ, as members of his body, the church, are called also to be that light. He said the church sometimes can seem dark from the outside, right? A little foreboding. He compared it to like a physical church building, especially if you've seen some of these older churches. You look at them from the outside, you look at the stained glass windows, you don't see the color, right? You don't see the beauty. You just see kind of something dark, right? The stained glass from the outside, it looks a little almost off-putting. It's when you enter into the church that then you can see the light streaming through that glass. You can see the beauty that's there, the goodness that's there. The church can be the same way at times. It can seem a little foreboding to those who are outside of it, right? A little, this big institution. But once we enter in, we encounter Christ there. We see the beauty of his body, the church. But as I reflect on that, there are times when a church building doesn't seem foreboding outside, right? It can seem really beautiful. And that's when everything outside the church is dark. I think of going to Christmas midnight mass as a kid, and you get out of the car and the parking lot's kind of dark, but you see the stained glass windows, just the light shining, spilling out of them. It's really beautiful, right? There's a warmth there. I think that analogy can apply to the universal church, right? That as things outside the church become dark, right? Maybe as society is dark, or the culture, the witness of the church, the witness to the light of Christ can shine forth in all its goodness and beauty even more powerfully. In the liturgy for the presentation, we can all start with candles and carry those candles for the first part of the liturgy. It's symbolic that we as members of Christ's body, as members of the church, are called not just to follow Christ, the light of the world, but to embody that light, right? To let it live in us and shine forth in us into the darkness that we encounter, right? In others, in society. That we can be the light of Christ to others, and that we can have confidence that that light will continue to shine in the darkness. The darkness will never overcome it. So in this Feast of the Presentation, we go to Christ, the light of the world. We ask him to strengthen us to be bold and courageous witnesses to him who is the light of the world, that he would let us through our joy, through our love, through our peace, shine forth in the darkness and be a witness to the light of Christ for others.